Morning.
Good morning, you.
We are week 6.
Week 6?
I know.
Clickety-clicks.
I know. Who knew we'd get here? Who knew?
Or is that 66?
66.
It's all the same thing.
They're all 6s. Let's not go down the other route.
Let's not go there.
No.
Anyway, speaking of numbers, thinking about time, we did have some feedback, didn't we? From
We did, lots.
our gorgeous viewers, thank you, to say that, hang on a minute, why have you gone to 20 minutes?
Yeah.
We like it at 40, so I think we had a little chat about it, all of us, and we're not fast food.
We're not fast food.
We are a buffet.
We're a banquet.
A banquet, a buffet.
We're a banquet. A buffet?
We're a canteen.
We're a banquet. I'm gonna go for the opulence every time.
Please, yeah.
We're a banquet, and we spread seasoning on our experiences because we love them.
Yeah.
And if you try and cram that into 20 minutes, with all the people that are coming in now and saying, would you? It's just going to be too rushed. So, we feature everybody, really, as many as we can.
That's
and
it.
it's hopefully you're entertained.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
We hope you're entertained.
Yeah.
So, on that note...
On that note, go for it.
No.
Me?
Yeah,
oh, yes,
you.
right, that, yeah, okay, so... when we started this, I wrote a little ditty or something for the
Kath
team.
writes poetry.
I write poetry.
She does write poetry.
So this is for you. There once were two women named Patsy and Kath, and a filmmaker extraordinaire named Jamie Dieppe, who shared some good stories and had a good laugh, sharing what's on and shout-outs from all about town, a cuppa, a natter, and a good old sit-down. So join us a while, for a minute, or 40, not 20, and hear us talk roundabout, because our town has plenty.
I love that.
Thanks, I'm getting tingles.
Nice. Yes, get tingles. Yeah,
Tingles.
oh, bless us all. We do get tingles. There was lots of tingles actually all through town. It was very weird. I went out on Thursday and Friday and I was bumping into people who said, love the podcast. I went, what, you watch it? And they were like, yeah, we love it. It's really good. It's a weekly thing now. It's a bit of a weekly staple. I was shocked and emotionally moved actually by some of the feedback. It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
So, it was so good to hear actually.
So a little slice of joy in the week, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
That's the
In fact, one person said, do you know what? I found myself taking notes.
So
And I thought that was so sweet on what was going on. I thought it was so nice, I'm taking notes on what you're talking about because these are interesting. And also, if I can't make it this time, it's likely to be again. So but you'll keep us informed. And then bumping into people over the Fat Tuesday weekend. Oh, more of that later. But it was, so Patsy, so what's on at so-and-so? And I went, well, and they said, of course you know. But we make it our business to know.
Yeah.
So instead of just knowing and keeping it as our information, we're sharing it with loads of other people, which I think is a really good community spirit thing to do.
It is, yeah,
So,
it really is. And we know now it's not just our nan watching or, our mate, or it's like people are watching this.
I know.
It'd be good to know, more feedback on whatever platform.
So what do we need? We want people to comment. So when each of these people said, I said, well, have you left a mention or something? No. I said, oh, please do. Put a little something. Yeah. Thumbs up or a heart, or if you haven't got time. But it's nice to know that actually we're reaching people because otherwise we're just talking into the dark. We don't want that, do we?
Yeah, no, we don't.
We've got too much to say.
Yeah, definitely too much to say. So we are Patsy. You're Patsy.
I am Patsy.
We
I'm
are
still Patsy. You're Kath with an F. Have you noticed this week the Quiff? See the
Kath
Quiff
with an F
Club.
and a
She's
Quiff.
done the Quiff.
Yeah.
So we're proper in the Quiff world now, aren't
Jamie,
we?
you're next. We're going to get you.
Yeah, we've got
Quiffed up.
Quiffed up. Yeah, absolutely.
In your rockabilly period.
Jamie, we have already kind of been introduced through the poem, but it's just to say hello from Hastings St Leonards, and I wanted to say thank you to Juliet again, who's given us a little bit more money.
That's so nice.
Buying us a coffee.
So the coffee thing.
Coffee.com. Yeah.
We don't get funded But to cover expenses, because there are expenses, to cover expenses, it would be so nice if we do promote you, stick a little bit, just a coffee, £3, you know, bung it in.
Yeah.
It's so nice. We really appreciate it, and it goes a long way to goodwill and helps us carry on, doesn't it?
Totally does.
And we really appreciate that. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, shall I start?
Crack on.
So the lovely institute. Oh, I'm wheezy. Oh, I sound like Frankie Howard.
You do the whole thing.
I do my whole thing. Yes. So Grumpy Cook, the lovely Barry Ashley. We have mentioned him. There's just a quick shout out. They need chefs and front of house because they're opening at Sheer Barn up on Barley Lane. And so they need people in town and they need people up at Sheer Barn. So you don't need experience. They will train you. You don't need experience. They're so good at their training. They've loads of training. But if you've ever been in there and bought tea, their staff are delightful. They're just so lovely. He's so into customer service. Yep. So he's looking for front of house staff and a chef. No experience required. You will be trained. Details will be at the bottom.
And you mentioned, didn't you, last week that they're just an organisation with such a lot of heart, which we have so much of here in Hastings and
Food with dignity.
Food with dignity. You know,
cheap.
Paying it forward, that kind of thing. And there are a lot of other organisations as well who are doing the sliding scale of payments, and I think that is really, really good to acknowledge that, you know, we still want everybody to participate and be involved, no matter what. So, I can imagine.
A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah,
like the coffee thing.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit.
Those tiny things,
tiny little things. You think, it's not anything.
Oh, it is.
It's like paying for someone if they're a bit short in the supermarket. You know.
Exactly.
Excuse me, coffee.
Yeah, that's right.
So just a little bit. It's nice.
A little bit's good. So, where do I want to start? I've got loads of things.
A banquet.
Banquet. Yeah, I could talk about a banquet. What have I got food-wise? Well, there's a Sustenance takeover. That is happening as this goes out live on Thursday the 6th of March at the Seadog, and that is with the Hastings Project, who are a lovely couple of blokes who have made their own brewing business with support from Brewing Brothers and support also from the Crown, Hastings and others. And they basically brew for charity. So there are lots of different charities that receive money through their beer and events, and they're really about kind of connecting with the community in that way. So they've also got what have they called it? Oh yeah, there's a beach clean, family beach clean. There are 2 beach cleans this weekend, which is mega, which is great. Like every time I walk along, I pick up a bit. Then I go, I have to keep going because there's always more. Yeah, so, and I know in other towns, anyone who's listening who might want to do this, they do have places that have little grabbers that you can they just are along the seafront. So that might be an idea for our town. Anyway, the Hastings Project are doing a litter pick on Saturday the 8th of March, 11 till 12:30, and then you can go for a free half. It's a family-based thing. Free half at the Seadog afterwards.
Nice. So this is all around the Seadog. This is all focusing around the
Seadog, which is the pub nice. Just as you come out of the station and you go down the steps towards Sainsbury's and you cross the road. It's just there before the baked potato place and then into town.
What used to be Frank's front room.
Did it? Okay. Yeah. I don't know that one.
Oh, it's been all sorts of pubs. Yeah, Frank's front room.
There's a whole thing about pubs that we'll need to keep.
I know. The history of all the pubs. I'm sorry, I shouldn't know about the history of the pubs.
It's not a problem.
I'm not a drinker, actually. I just go in them for the music. Yeah.
Well, it's people's front rooms,
it's like music,
it's the public front rooms. So.
Absolutely.
So that's happening. I'm going to stop now.
Yeah, thank you, darling. Let's not let her ramble, because she can ramble. We think I've got the talking problem. No. So, Mudworks, the lovely Mudworks, we've mentioned them before, but they've just been in touch. So Lizzie McCarron,
love her.
Oh, she's just delightful. She is collaborating with Madre, Yoga, Breath and Sound Studios in St Leonards, and they're bringing together. You use the right sheet, Patsy. Yeah, they're bringing together 2 days. So that Saturday the 8th, this Saturday coming up, and April the 5th, both Saturdays, 10 till 12. For £75, you can have Buddhist meditation and and philosophy mixed with making a beautiful clay altarpiece.
Nice.
How wonderful. The whole thing is a very meditative experience. So you'll work with Madre and you'll work with Lizzie. So all the details are underneath. But that's coming up this weekend. There's 2 spots available. Or there were when she got in touch with me yesterday. So let's hope there's... honestly, it's such a good thing. But when you think £75 for the 2... That's great.
Yeah, that's really good.
You get a lot with your lot bang to your buck. Yeah.
Great. My eye has just fallen upon the Corset Shop. It's got nothing to do with anything that you just said.
Corset Shop.
Corset Shop.
We were chatting about this earlier, weren't we?
We were, yeah. So I was. I also do holistic type things. So I'm a massage therapist, and had a client who came in, and they have a relative who ran that shop, and I didn't know anything about it.
I remember it well.
But it just sounds amazing. So I put it onto this Hastings history site that I'll link to, and just said, anyone know anything about this? And the amazing thing about, again, this town is that I had 40 comments later, and then all the other bra shops in town that there were, and all the other corsetry shops. And what's particularly special about this one, which I think the Queer History Collective might be interested in, is that
It's now a nail bar. Sorry.
Is it a nail bar now?
So if people don't know it...
Yeah, right.
It now...
Where is it? Which one's
contemporary? It's between Heist and Adams and Jarrett.
Oh, it's down there, yeah, okay, yeah. Right, yeah. So, but yeah, they used to make corsets for trans people and for drag queens as well, so it's just like this, it's as old as time, all of these different characters Hastings and St Leonards, and that those stories are being drawn out more and more now, and I think that's really wonderful. So yeah, I think I might dig into that a bit more. Find out some more.
I mean, the town's history is fascinating. I remember when I came down in '83, and it was a shop that that fascinated me because it had the biggest bra in the world.
That's it, yeah.
On the wall. It was colossal. It was rather large, and then it had a tiny bra next to it. So you had this great. You couldn't sort of. It caught your eye.
Yeah.
But it's got the most fabulous frontage. It's beautifully bowed window glass. Oh, it's just delightful. Yeah. But it was there forever, and then it's turned into. I think it was It became a convenience store.
Right.
And
So now it's an bar.
And now it's an bar. But it was an extraordinary shop. But you can imagine the history.
Yeah.
What those dressing rooms would have seen.
True.
And all that boning, originally whale bone, and then subsequently as time went on, becoming nylon and.
Yeah.
But
definitely. It sounded like it wasn't. It was a practical thing as well. From the comments underneath, it was like, that's just where we get, like my auntie Vera, we would get her. Nylons,
you get your smalls in there.
Thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole place was decked out in beautifully. The smalls. Sorry, take the girl out of London. But they used to have these wonderful light haberdashers.
Yeah.
You could walk in and they would have these beautiful glass top drawers that had everything in them. So there was a drawer for everything. You could get silk chemise, you could get your cotton staples. Yeah, get your nylons.
Drawer for drawers.
Get your drawers for drawers. I like that. Here we go. It's another poem.
It's another poem, probably.
Thank you, darling.
That's right.
So I had the pleasure of meeting when I was at the DFL, which I'll feature in a minute. The DFL show, the play. This wonderful woman approached me and she said, "I love your podcast." I went. Okay, I do a podcast. She said, "Yeah," she said, "I watch it every week." And it turns out this woman is Justina Kochansky. Great name. If you know Red Dwarf, you'll know Kochansky was Lister's love interest. So of course the name sticks because of how I store information. So she was chatting, a lovely woman, her and her husband Joe, and we got chatting about all sorts of stuff. And she gave me some very nice feedback. It was really, really sweet. But she said, "Oh, I've got a thing," and I said, "Where's your Instagram?" So straight away I went on her Instagram, and we're going to have lunch soon. By the way, it's become one of those moments. This like,
new
nice,
friends.
fizzy, warm feeling. When you meet somebody you really just instantly feel attracted to.
Yeah.
But she's got a thing this weekend at Barnaby's Lounge. It's part of the What a Wonderful World exhibition. It's on Saturday. So the details, she says, put your glasses on, darling, makes it so much easier. 2 till 5, Saturday at Barnaby's Lounge on Robertson Street. So it's full of, you'll see the tile when we're actually doing this. Now this woman is formerly a puppeteer. She studied puppetry in Bali. She performed puppet shows in the world's oldest grand music hall in W1 in London, and then in a cemetery in Stoke Newington. She's very clever. But she makes things out of eggshells. Yeah, now when we think of eggshells, we think of Fabergé. Now Fabergé didn't use eggs. Fabergé made egg-shaped things, the famous Fabergé eggs, with enamels and metal, and they were goldsmiths. She uses real eggshells. She's a tiny world's artist, she calls herself. So the detail in her work, if you go on her Instagram page, woof. Now she's here. She's moved here from London. We are so lucky to have her. Yeah. So she's part of the What a Wonderful World exhibition. All the other people are listed, so go and look it up. It's all the information is on there. But go pop in, because this runs from March the 8th through April this year.
Amazing.
At Barnaby's, because Barnaby's is great for art. They love supporting artists.
Yeah.
So we always big up Barnaby's. But go and meet the lovely Justina Kochansky. What a delight. Louise Whittam is going to be there. She's going to be there.
Yeah,
Whittam.
Good.
She's going to be there as well. And there are probably another 8
nice
people. We don't have time to go through them all, but we will feature you all in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely. That makes me think of International Women's Day, which is on March the 8th.
Oh, right.
So we have at the Observer Building, there's Hear Me Roar, which is from Women's Voice, and there are some epic people who are going to be there, just incredible. So on the day that this launches as well, Claudine Ecclestone, another queen in our town, is going to be talking at the Isabel Blackman Centre about a project that she's been working on for some time about the Black Flower Cellar. I don't want to tell you anymore because you need to go and listen to this story. She will be telling that story at the Observer Building on Saturday, and also at the Isabel Blackman, and I'll try and get that out on our pages.
Saturday's the 5th?
Saturday the 5th? Saturday's the...
You said the 8th?
8th, isn't it the 8th?
It's the 5th today then.
Yeah, 5th today, Wednesday.
Have I got my dates
7th,
mixed up?
8th.
I have. Saturday the 8th. Right, so you know why? Because we were talking numbers. I'm terrible with numbers.
Numbers are terrible.
Saturday, you're absolutely right.
Don't
I'm so sorry. Today's the... Yes. So Saturday the 8th of March.
That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, the 8th, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And yeah, so Claudine speaking, Victoria Oldman, who set up Trans Pride, co-founder of Trans Pride, is speaking as well, and there are some really interesting musicians, and yeah, it's from, have I got it up there or not? Something like 10 till 4. It's quite like a kind of all-day thing, but we'll check again. Numbers times, it'll be in the notes. That's why the notes are there.
That's why the notes are so important.
That's damn right.
we might get things wrong verbally, but they won't be wrong in the notes.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just see if I've got it down here. But anyway, it doesn't, it'll be there. So that is International Women's Day, and I just think it's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful event. Also at the Observer Building, if I may, Simon Dorr got in touch. Simon's wonderful. He's worked with Beverly Harling before and does kind of sets and lighting and atmospheric stuff. The word's gone out of my head as to what he actually does. But he also works for the OBX, which is the Observer Building's kind of open access space for people to test out new technologies, or not so new, but new to people. So, for instance,
nice.
I've never put a VR headset on. So I'm a bit scared.
Nor have I.
I'm a bit scared.
But
you can do it.
Stand up straight.
I know. Well, sometimes another
I'd
project,
scream.
but
I'd scream.
You'd scream? You
I'd
think
scream.
so? I think you can sit down and be in a chair. And
No, I don't mean I'd
posted.
scream because I'm scared. I mean I'd scream because it was so exciting. Well, it's mind blowing, isn't it? Anything like that.
It's like,
I get
you'll
excited. No, I get excited by those old fashioned things that you used to put on, and
I love those.
I love them. The video, the little
I know someone who collects those. That's for another time.
Really?
Yes, in this
I have
town,
a red
of
one.
course.
Yeah, of
do
course.
you?
Yeah.
So, the Telltale Rooms is coming up at the OBX. It's a free VR experience. Screaming will happen. And it's Andrew Kotting, massive artist here, and daughter Eden Kotting, who have been putting this together in collaboration with OBX, and it runs from the 13th to the 18th of March. Opening and artist talk is on the 13th at 6:30.
We've got to go to that.
I know, you're noting it.
I'm making
You're taking notes.
I'm taking notes.
Well, I took notes earlier, so we're both doing it. Yeah, and then there's also, they have a regular open tech session, 6 till 8:30 p.m. on sometime, I haven't got it, and sessions run Thursdays 10 to 12 noon. Again, anyway, we'll put it up there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Simon, because that came in just at the last minute, but I did want to,
If you can see Kath's notes, look at me, lines. Look at Kath. That gives me a
That's my
headache.
brain. I know, everyone looks at those. I shared some with friends earlier. I was like, yeah, I've taken some notes from our meeting. They were like, what?
Yeah, what is that? That's crazy.
Anyway,
That's like, but it gives you an idea about what's going on in there. Mine's more like a spidergram. Do you remember the old-fashioned spidergrams? You had a thing and then you had bits that you... Mine works like that.
That's
and
good.
colours and pictures. So it's very few words, actually. So, where I met Justina on Friday was at the Good Place in Havelock Road, where I went to see part 5 of the DFL play. There's a set of 6. I'm so gutted, I hate that word, but it just really sums it up, that I didn't get to see the other 4.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I'm so glad I went. Shannon Hayes plays Lydia, Tom Mesmer plays Noah, and Beverly Harling is the, if you like, she's kind of like a troubadour, but she builds tension. You don't need tension in this, but my word, she really does a really good job of it.
Nice.
She's so good. Nadine Passy wrote this whole set of plays. Astonishing. These people, I was gripped, totally and utterly gripped as soon as I walked in. So you're sitting in Good Place and you're all sitting around the outside. The play's happening in front, in the middle of the room, and these people walk in, and you can't move because you're kind of stuck watching people have an argument.
Wow.
And normally you turn your TV up. Some people would open the window when there's an argument going on, or look down, or get on a bus, or avoid it. You were there for the whole thing. It was astonishing. I wrote a little bit, which was basically, I'm using American football parlance here. When they're in the offence and they're going at each other, they're projecting at each other. And then they're in the defence, so they're basically digging themselves out of what's going on, trying to protect themselves. And then there's this beautiful space, finally, where they own their vulnerability and their pain, about being an ex-couple and what that means to them now. Wow. And the honesty. I mean, it's just, these are actors of a very, very high calibre. If you can see them, Shannon Hayes and Tom Mesmer, or anything written by Nadine Passley, because I met her, I said to her, thank you for narrating my 20s. And she said, really? I went, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember every word of it. And I was so invested. James Matthew Thomas was sitting opposite me, and he said, you were in there. I said, yeah. And they asked you afterwards, were you team Noah or team Lydia? Team Lydia. But they were tight. They didn't miss a beat. It felt so real. That, and they involved. So the other thing they do is they talk to the audience. So they'll talk to you, and that's a thought that's going on in their head. And then they speak to their counter.
Oh, that's really clever.
It's really clever.
Wow.
So they'll be, so what am I thinking? La la la.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know. You want to talk to them.
Yeah.
You want to talk, but you can't because you're not part of the...
Did you get talked to?
I got talked to several times,
Yeah.
and so did my husband, Rack. and everyone was engaged in some way. But it was brilliantly done. Thank you. So the next one is at a future festival this year.
Ooh,
Yet to be. Go and see them. Phenomenal. They're so clever.
I am, I've got massive FOMO about that, or whatever it's
Oh,
called afterwards,
yeah.
if you're not saying
Go
the word
see the
gutted,
last
but I
one.
am like gutted that I didn't make it to it.
Yeah.
But the next one. And also, is there a way of catching up?
You can't. They're not recorded.
They're not recorded. Okay.
But you can actually if you go on the
The site, yeah.
Hastings Theatre Project site on the DFL, click the DFL link. You've got stills and little captions of what's actually happened, but they're brilliant to watch.
Wow.
Absolutely captivating. Yeah.
You know how in this town we've got, like everywhere else maybe it's 6 degrees, 7 degrees of separation, and in this town it's
1.5.
1.5, 2 max.
Yeah.
So I met James like on Monday, had a little chat. James Matthew Thomas, wonderful, doing amazing projects all over town that we will cover later on. And it turns out he's best mates with the mother of Arlo, who our Arlo is named after.
Oh, really?
Which is just like, so I was saying, I lived in Brockley and I worked in this cafe, and he was like, this cafe? And I was like, yeah, Arlo and Mo. And it was like, I know Patsy, I know, you know.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And it's just like, as in a different Patsy to you.
Yeah,
But,
sure. No, I know
yeah,
them.
they're all, all Patsy so far are quality though, so it goes with the name. Yeah, anyway, it's just weird, but also you kind of go, oh yeah, of course you do, because
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Beach cleans, I've kind of done a bit of beach clean. There's another one, did I tell you about it? The 10 o'clock till 11:30 at the Pier. That's on Sunday the 9th of March, so you can go, and that was Amanda Jobson who got in touch, Councillor Amanda, to talk about that, and also saying that it's just been announced that we are going for, or are aiming to be, a plastic-free town. Oh. Which is fab. So that's just been announced or agreed at council, cabinet. This is kind of part of that. So she wanted to let us know about it, and also asking businesses to give up 3 plastic throwaway things that they do currently. So that might be something to kind of chat about as well in time.
Definitely.
It's a really good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
especially as we're right on top of the beach. When we went to, where did we go? Dieppe. In Dieppe.
Oh,
Oui. C'est bon. When you walk around the town, all the grates, the gullies, they all have a notice saying this is where the ocean starts.
Oh, that's cool.
Right? In French. So anyone who thinks they can throw something down it, like gum or cigarette butts or anything, that's where the ocean starts. Do not put it in there because it will end up...
Wow, that's cool.
What a great reminder.
That's really cool.
I love that. I think that's something we should have here, really.
Yes.
But anyway, we got sidetracked, so let's not try not to.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday the 5th of March. And I spent the weekend Fat Tuesdaying.
You did.
I did. What a trooper. I get a medal.
You should get a medal, actually.
Yeah, I should get a medal. This is hardcore. So I want to shout out to Hannah Deebles, Sally Lampitt and Adam Daly for bringing the Fat Tuesday Festival. It is such an incredible thing to actually be... We were part of it as a choir, but to actually witness... What makes me smile is seeing all these musicians. You couldn't miss them. They're scuttling around like turtles with something heavy on their back, wheeling something, dragging themselves into a pub to do Saturday Unplugged. That's where we started, on Saturday Unplugged.
Yep.
So we saw some class acts. We were in the St Leonards for the first bit, and I was taken by Liv's... The dedication of the musicians is just extraordinary. They sit in a crowded pub and sing, some of them literally unplugged, acoustic. So it's quite a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Some people come in really loud and bombastic, some just come in really sweet. A woman, Liv Summer, I think she's Danish. She blew me away, really beautiful. Her and her support, they harmonise some lovely songs. But the Sazeracs, so they're a New Orleans style, Hastings based band.
Excellent.
You got the trombones, you got the sax, you got the clarinet, you got the now I can't work out whether it's a tuba or sousaphone, but it's the big thing that comes over the top. Yeah, I think it climbs in. Is that a sousaphone?
Yeah. Well, they've got the euphonium as well.
Or a euphonium. See, there we go. There we go. There's my lack of classical knowledge. It's a big brass instrument, and so they shut the pub up. Everyone was very quiet, but it was brilliant. So yeah, the wealth of talent. So we scuttled along the seafront. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. We scuttled along the seafront to the Albion. We watched the Albion skiffle. Great, good old-fashioned call and response songs. Get everybody going, and squeeze boxes, and Steve with his ears, frog ears that flap up and down, and and washboards. Oh, it's just the whole thing. It was fabulous. Then I absolutely loved the Shady Pines.
Yeah, beautiful.
You know, they all the beautiful close harmonies and the Laurel Canyon greats.
Yeah.
They were just delicious. What a lovely group of women.
Yeah.
Just stood at the front way. I was so happy to watch you. Lovely Polly Gifford's in there.
Yeah.
So, and then finished off with Chimer, who are heavy. When I first saw them, I first saw their first gig at Unplugged a couple of years back. And oh my God, they're so good. Heavier than anything else, but super cool, reminiscent of early Radiohead, which I really, really like.
Nice.
So came out of there, and the sun was setting. It was one of those magical moments. You could already see this because the sky was so clear. You could see stars. But the sun was setting, so things were already happening.
Yeah.
So Mr. Wilson's second liners, they come from miles away. They get booked and they're so good. You get your money's worth when you book them because they come out. They're everywhere. They just came out. So they'd filled the Low Angling Club, the West Angling Club, West Hastings.
This is where we get confused.
I know.
Where was it? Was it on the stage? Or was it opposite the Albion?
It was opposite the Albion.
Yeah.
So
that one.
Yeah, the flat one. Yeah. So they came out of there. They spilled onto the pavement and did some proper 90s Ibiza. All that the lovely. I can't think of the song now. Do 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 do. That you can tell I'm in a choir, can't you? Yeah, Salty Air. That's it. What's it called?
Yeah.
Salty Air.
It's called Salty Air, probably.
But it must be. So excuse my terrible singing.
Or something else. Anyway, yeah, that one.
Yeah. So that's the one. So you've got singing.
Isn't it?
No, it's not by Air.
Oh, is it not? Oh,
But it's such an Ibiza banger.
Yeah.
It's such an absolute classic. So they're saying, and we're all standing there, and you can see all these people going. You can have a little quiet cry because it was just a beautiful moment, and all their outfit was lit up with lights. Cool.
Nice.
They're so good.
Nice.
So that was Saturday. We had to go home. It was solid. We started noon and we ended up shuffling off about 10 o'clock.
Well done.
Preservation Sunday, the umbrella parade, absolutely beautiful. Watching all the children, dads with their kids on their shoulders, festooned in a beautiful tissue flowers, and the mums are dressed up. The dads are all multicoloured. It's just lovely. All the pushchairs are adorned. So they marched with. So you got Mr. Wilson's second liners. They got the whole thing started. Dende Nation following up. Sambalanco and you know the tail was the Sazeracs again. It makes your heart full. So they went into the White Rock for another show. So then, because this is my last bit really, I'm reviewing this. It was just really, and the gods smiled on us with the weather because it was so
really
beautiful.
did.
It really was really, really great. So then I went on to the Sonics, as in the thy, thus, and so on. No, it's not thus, Patsy. Stop that. Thou, yes, thee, thy, thou. The Sonics Sunday, right? So that's been going for 10 years. It's usually at the Pig in Paradise. It was on at the Pig.
Yeah.
So they had a thing called the spin cycle, And once I'd finished, I expected, my husband expected me to just toddle off, because I said, I've got work to do, I'm going to go home. And he said, no, just pop in, stick your head round. Oh my word, 15 musicians all together in one room for several hours, and they played in trios, but they didn't play a song. There was not a song. They all played, it was all improvised, electronic, but also musical instruments. So each time a trio would come together, so you could have a saxophone, a violin, and somebody using a synthesizer. But they were just little tiny bits of sound, but I couldn't look away. And I got a real dopamine hit from this, Jamie. It was really weird, because I'm a dopamine chaser. I'm constantly, because autistic people do chase dopamine, and I couldn't look away because I didn't know what was coming next, because it didn't have a beginning, a middle, or an end. It just was in the moment.
Movements.
It was. That's a really good way of putting it. It was unreal. But they were just extraordinary. People came from Manchester for this event. There was a guy there called Kyle, whose dad had built him a box that he could play with a bow, and it had pegs on it for like African harp kind of thing, and
nice.
it was plugged into an amplifier. Astonishing. Maria was on the viola, Gemma was on the violin, Tollis was on electronics, Toby on the sax. Kit had a broken trombone, this lovely young man. He had a broken trombone which he played with no mouthpiece, and he just blew down it and made sound, and then he would play it as a percussion instrument, and he kept all of his sticks and stuff in an oven glove. which was like a crossover bag, and I said, well, they're not going to get cold, are they? But it was amazing. Dale was on snare drum, Suresh on the djembe, Graham on the trumpet. There were others, but Tollis brought this together. But it was extraordinary. I highly recommend, even if you look at things like this and think I wouldn't like it. I couldn't look away.
Yeah, because normally that would be a thing you would never...
No, my husband put stuff on like that at home. I go, turn it off, it's noisy. But it wasn't. It was just extraordinary. So they had bands out the back, which I stayed for, and then realised I had to go home because I just hurt. Slim Monday, Toby Borelli, king size Slim, at the Nelson. That was fabulous. The pub was heaving with joyful faces.
You were singing along. Yeah.
We were singing. It was stupid of me, really, because we were doing call and response with Toby, and then we realised we had to go on. So my voice
you were well warmed up.
I was well warmed up. Yeah. And then that was lovely. He's always the band has such good value. Siddy Bennett came on, and she did 3 tunes. Now she did a song, an ode to her father who passed recently, a proper New Orleans musician, and it was I'm not crying, are you crying? That was one of those moments. But then she does a version of Wannabe, the Spice Girls.
Oh my God, I'd like to see
and it's so different, and it's kind of raunchy and naughty, and just it's very Siddy Bennett.
I can imagine.
So that was great, and then we got up, the lifted up choir. We got up and we sang 3 songs. And the backing track failed halfway through the last song, but it was the best moment actually, because as it failed, we just sang a cappella.
That's really
and people were like, we can hear you without any instruments. Wow, what does that sound like? So we were kind of getting lots of, wow, that sounds amazing. And then we followed Toby out to the apron of the Nelson. You know, it's all on an apron at the front. And he sang an amazing song, and we did the harmonies. It just finished the night off. It was just amazing. And then lastly, it was Tuesday. We did the reggae room at the East Hastings Angling Club. Mighty Sounds. Shout out to Lee Prudence and her boys. So good. It was stonkingly good night. It was so good. Heaving in there. It was brilliant. But there was music all around the town. It was going on. Walking back to the car, the Dolphin, and I can hear I feel like funking it up. I feel like funking it up. I went, I'm going in. And the last song of the night was the Sazerac singing.
Wow.
And it was great. So
that was last night.
That was last night. So I'm now
And you got in at 1.
I got in at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And nowhere was open for food. Come on, Hastings, we need some more late night food.
Yeah.
We need someone to provide.
Late night bagel shop or something like that.
But we do. Oh yeah, so good.
Oh man.
So I know.
I had so many things I wanted to chip in and ask. I had to wait, but I did need to wait because that was so lovely to hear all of that in one go.
It's great.
Like your whole experience there is. I had such a different weekend to you. I was with my boys, so we had. We went to the Sussex Sidewalk Astronomers because there was a planet parade, of course, you know. Like every time we do one of these, not every time, but like it's the first one we were talking about the whale planets, you know, like we are here by the sea, in the earth, in the world, and it keeps reminding us of that, and I just love that as well about where we live. And these wonderful amateur astronomers, I think, no offence if anyone is actually...
They're hobbyists, I would imagine.
They're hobbyists, I think so. They've got like these incredible telescopes and you can bring your 8-year-old and you can...
Yeah, but Hastings Astronomers, we have Hastings and Wilton Astronomers Clubs.
Yeah,
both of them are busy. They're really good, so maybe they were part of that.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. I'm not even sure if I'm saying the right one, but I think it was Sussex Sidewalks, one of them. And they were so wonderful. They were down... at that little bit that's just in front of the Beach Hut Cafe, near the beach huts generally, near the old bathing site.
Barista in the Shack? No?
No, it's the other end.
Bull the Hive, yeah.
Oh, Bull the Hive. Oh, yeah.
So past Grosvenor Gardens, past the bowling.
Less light pollution that end.
It was so great. It was just amazing, you know, like I was back to being a kid wanting to look as much as the kids.
Do you know, if you step onto the beach and put the lights, street lamps behind you, and get yourself a yoga mat or something, you can lie out on that at night and watch all of the meteor showers. You don't have to go to places that are, you know, completely blacked out. You can do it. We've done it several times.
Yeah. West Hill's another good spot for that.
That's right.
It was just so lovely, and this guy had a laser that I think my boy thought was actually reaching the stars that he was pointing at, and it was so sweet. And he's like, "Do you know what that is? An Orion just underneath." And Arno's like, "A nebula," and he was right. I was like, "Yeah, that was like one of his first like tattoos that he wanted on his arm from face painting." So yeah, you know. Anyway,
and Arlo's 8, isn't he?
He's 8. Yeah.
He's 8.
And then we did try to get to the umbrella parade. We made our brollies here, but it was too much fun making the brollies, so we missed it all. Experienced a few glue gun burns, but it's all okay. It's all
the joy of having a child.
Yeah. So one other thing, as you were mentioning all these amazing bands, is that Hot Wax were at the Delaware just at the weekend, I think, as well.
They were.
Another one I'm really gutted I missed, because that, like, alongside what you were saying about Radiohead and like that kind of, they're nothing like Radiohead, but their passion and power and their punkiness and the kind of girl like band with boys in as well, I really love, because it's just it just reminds me of when I was 17, and it just makes me want to jump about and, you know, I just think they're really cool.
See, our town gives birth to children, so her dad, her mum and dad, Ryan Sim Savage is Doc Savage. He's a first liner, and incredible entertainer, and mum Rachel Spinetti, also great entertainer. We'll feature them later in the year, but they give birth to this young woman who is rocking it.
Tallulah.
She's Tallulah. She's rocking it out there.
Absolutely.
And then you've got the Nova Twins.
Yeah.
The extraordinary local homegrown talent, Kid Capici. But we've got so many, and we could go on, you know.
Yeah. I think we should do a little word game one day where we're just ping-ponging.
Yeah.
Word association.
No.
Jamie, you'd be good on this as well.
Ping-ponging.
Oh, ping-pong. Talking of ping-ponging.
Yeah, I was going to say,
ping-pong.
I saw that.
Did you see that? Go on.
What a great segue. It was like it was planned.
So I actually know the guy, his name's Ben, and apparently he's got 20,000 ping pong balls to get rid of.
Did you say pink?
Pink
ping pong balls.
Yeah, and then I think someone put a shout out for the Wave Arts compound. They said, "Oh, we can't say no to 20,000 ping pong balls."
But you can stick them on something, can't you?
Yeah, they'll make stuff with them, because they do workshops for kids and all the time. They're a brilliant little place that it's well worth knowing about, because they're also a pay what you can, pay what you like.
Yep.
Come and half terms and all that. They'll bet you at half by the end of the term there'll be 20,000 ping pong balls to be stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
I've got to do a shout out for them actually, because they're now right now. This is the compound Wave Arts. They are planning. It's a brilliant event. I've been to one before. It's called the Great Art Face Off, and they want 16 local artists, and it's like a bake off, right? But it's drawing on a canvas. You get 25 minutes. There's 3 rounds, and it gets down to a final. And you stick the crowd that are there vote for their favourite painting by sticking a star onto a board with next to their name of the artist, and it gets down to then a final. So there's 3 rounds. So there's 2 rounds of 8, and then there's a 3rd round of 8, which was the final.
Yeah.
And then there's a winner, and then I believe they auction off the paintings. So if any of the crowd want one of the paintings, they can write a price down of what they want to pay for it, and the artists will get the money for it, or do whatever they want to do with the money for their painting.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's the actual event's not until August 23rd, but they're putting a
They're
call
looking
out
for the artists,
right
aren't
now
they?
for the artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ace,
And that is waveartbexhill@gmail.com.
Yeah. All details will be noted.
Yeah.
And the compound are on Bexhill Road, aren't they?
That's right, yeah, it's the one with a double-decker bus. These 161 Bexhill Road.
They're aren't they along by Judges' postcards when you look at...
Yes.
Nearest to Aldi, aren't they?
It's just not quite as far as Aldi from here. It's, this yellow building, the surgery, the new sort of yellow surgery that's on the right. Oh, man.
The doctor's surgery?
Doctor's surgery.
What, Carrisbrook surgery?
Yeah, it's almost opposite that.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, it's right up there, yeah. You go under the bridge where both rides on the left, and then it's just up there on the left.
Okay, so past the surgery.
On the left, yeah.
On the left-hand side.
And it's well worth, they're doing things all the time. You can do anything from learn the harp to, all sorts of sound baths, and it's basically book it up and pay what you can.
Yeah, the compound is great.
So
It's hosted. My husband does some work for somebody in the compound. Podvision. She's we could feature her actually. She's a photographer, and she does the most extraordinary photographs of families and children.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Who's that famous photographer? Who used to put babies in...
Anne Geddes?
Anne Geddes, yeah.
By the photo poster and
sure.
Yeah.
So you see these photos, but these are not in that vein. But when you look at photos of babies and you think, oh my God, what these photographers do with these children, phenomenal. And families, you can have your graduation photo with her as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That she sounds good.
Yeah, no, so good. But the compound, it's become a proper art hub, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah, great place. Anything else, Jamie, that you had on your list?
The only thing I wanted to shout out again, because I'm slightly involved with, is Jude Montague and her John Logie Baird musical. £5 a ticket.
Wow.
It's on Saturday the 15th of March, so you haven't got long to get your tickets.
No.
The buy the ticket is actually from the HMAG, which is Hastings Museum
and Art Gallery.
And Art Gallery.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So all the details.
It's hmag.org.uk. It's £5. It's a John Logie Baird musical. It's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I know a little bit of insight, and it's exciting. You should
really?
Go and
see it, Yeah.
Really cool.
Okay, that's me over.
Thanks, Jude, so much for all of the support and love that you've been sending our way about the podcast as well. That's been really, really appreciated.
So, how do people get in touch with us, Kath?
They get in touch with us by emailing ourtownhasplenty@gmail.com. And you can also get hold of us on Instagram, which is at our.town.has.plenty, or Facebook, which is Our Town Has Plenty, all one word. And you can also go to YouTube keep the @ sign in there, and then it's Our Town Has Plenty. And what we'd love people to do is to subscribe.
Oh yeah. Press the little
Press the
bell
button.
button.
Give us a thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it really helps. Because what that does is it helps the people we're reviewing and we're promoting, it helps their stuff get further. So if you've been promoted, promote it. Anyone who wants to support it, because we're already getting some decent traffic, but the bigger traffic we get, the better it gets. More people see it.
That's right. Yeah, and also it would be really great just to have keep your comments coming in. It's lovely that you gave Patsy so much lovely feedback. Don't be afraid to say hello to any of us when we're out and about. And just thanks so much. We'll keep giving the joy and giving the love.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Because our town has plenty, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah. Cheers, darling. Cheers, Jamie.
Thank you.